Oh yeah. So that question, blast. I read online you have to blast everything. I tell people in the classes this all the time. Don't believe everything you see. Don't believe everything you read. Right? Nobody's ever going to take weight loss advice from a 2,000 pound person or marriage advice from anybody who's done it more than once, or business or business advice from somebody who's broke, right? So you got to be careful of where you're getting your information from. And hell, we don't hide the fact we manufacture and sell equipment. So you also got to look at the person giving the advice. Are they trying to sell you something? I don't blame anybody for looking at that as well. But so don't believe everything that you see or you read or you hear. Make people prove it. Right? And I tell people this in the classes all the time. If I say something you don't believe or you've read somewhere differently, make me prove it. And I will gladly do that. So let's talk about the whole blasting thing. Because it's like, Joey, you say you don't have to blast everything, and Jim Bob Cooter online and whatever, I painted my backyard.com, whatever it even says you have to, whatever. Right? So let me ask it to you this way. There are Harley Davidson powder coats motorcycle frames. Do you think that they blast every frame? No. The people that do large quantities of powder coating stuff, they don't blast at all. Why? Because they don't have to. They don't have to because they use the right chemical, and the right chemical will etch the metal. Now, that all being said, because here's what's going to happen, right? Somebody's going to take and hear this, and I'm going to be taken out of context, and they're going to say, Joey Golliver said you never blast anything. No, that's not what Joey said. Joey said you don't have to blast everything. Joey never said you don't blast anything. Two completely different sentences, right? So you physically, be it blasting or sandpaper or Scotch-Brite pad or whatever, you physically, if it's got old paint if it's got old paint or powder on it, if it's got rust, if it's got mill scale, if it's got things like that on it, you physically have to get that off. Now you can also use stripping chemicals, but that's a whole nother story. But you physically have to get that off before you coat. The problem is, what people don't realize is that all of the corrosion protection, what makes powder coating so great is its corrosion protection and the elasticity, right? Its ability to take a punch. That's why else, besides the environmental impact that it's green, why the hell else would you do it besides paint? That's the biggest advantages, right? Is because it's green technology and it's more durable, and because of the corrosion protection. But most of the corrosion protection, a very large part of the corrosion protection, is also what's underneath. The filiform corrosion protection, what's protecting between the layer of the metal and the coating itself, the conversion coating, the chemical itself. That's still an important step. And there's a ton of misinformation out there about that, but you have to have that. But no, so to answer your question, you do not have to blast everything. You sometimes will have to blast, but you do not have to blast everything. So yeah, hopefully that clears that little misconception up.